Airdrops are omnipresent in the Cosmos ecosystem, and in today's episode I will show you how to make the best out of them, and I will show you how to create a passive income with them. So make sure to watch this episode to the very end. Okay guys, I believe that in today's episode it's more important than ever before to mention that I'm not a financial advisor and also no tax advisor, so please keep that in mind. And besides, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and give us a like if you enjoy these videos. Again, this will trigger the YouTube algorithm and pumps ATOM on the other hand. Step number 1, of course, make sure to be eligible for all these airdrops. And it is very important to hold your ATOM self-custody. Not on Binance, not on Kraken, but for example on Kepler. This is the very first step and yeah, the most important one. Secondly, consider to be active. The more active you are, the more you get rewarded for it in DeFi. We saw it many times on Ethereum already and also in the Cosmos ecosystem. Consider to vote on governance proposals. This is how you can make even more money with airdrops. The next thing is what you can consider is to hold at least a little bit of iron, because we saw it many times with other Cosmos airdrops that iron holders also get rewarded for it when holding iron. And of course, provide liquidity with your assets or stake them. But of course, more on that in a minute. Step number 2, claim these airdrops and make the best out of them. To be honest, in my opinion, all these Cosmos airdrops are not that legendary compared to all these Ethereum airdrops that happened before, like the Uni airdrop, ENS airdrop, or the 1-inch airdrop, where users were rewarded with thousands of dollars just for using a platform once. That's not necessarily the case in the Cosmos ecosystem. So what do I mean by that? Well, in Cosmos, you get multiple airdrops, but these are not that gigantic compared to Ethereum airdrops like the Uni airdrop. So you have to drive a different strategy here. So, well, at least I do that. What I do is I concentrate on some airdrops that I claim and I try to build these positions. So I want to make these airdrop positions bigger over time. I want to keep my portfolio a little bit tighter and more compact to have a better overview of all these airdrops and have a few positions. And with these positions, well, I do staking. I will provide liquidity with them and so on and so forth, but just with a few airdrops that I claimed and not with all of them, because that's just too massive, and this is how you can lose the overview very quickly. So sometimes it's a little bit better to have less. Step number 3, provide liquidity with your airdrops and stake them. Why? Well, there are 3 reasons for it. Reason number 1, the native inflation rate. Please consider that many Cosmos projects have a pretty high inflation rate. So when just holding your assets, you end up pumping the banks of others because your money is standing still and the inflation rate rises and you lose against the native inflation rate of your cryptocurrency. And yes, trust me, you don't want to pump the backs of other people. And secondly, don't underestimate the compound effect. Shout out to Albert Einstein at this point. Why? Because, I mean, the market can pump, the market can dump, but if you are able to add some cryptocurrencies day by day to your portfolio, you will see the results by the end of the year. Trust me. And thirdly, and I think the most important aspect of this, airdrops. I mentioned it before. The more active you are in DeFi, the more you get rewarded for it. So when providing liquidity on Osmosis, for example, or if you stake your asset, then the chances are even higher to receive more airdrops or even bigger airdrops. So please make sure to follow these 3 steps. So you followed all of these 3 steps. Congratulations, everything is fine. But now let's talk a little bit about providing liquidity in Osmosis. For me, this is very important to mention this, so please keep a few things in mind. The first question you should ask yourself is to which asset you want to get exposure to. So when providing liquidity on Osmosis, you get rewarded for it in OSMO. So if you want to get a bigger exposure to OSMO, you should definitely look at all these APRs in the pools. For example, if you just provide liquidity for OSMO and XPRT, then it doesn't make sense because this pool just gives you around 37% APR. And just staking Osmo gives you around 90% APR. So if you want to get a greater exposure to Osmo, then it makes more sense just to stake Osmo. So please consider this before aping into one of these juicy pools. Please consider and ask yourself to which asset you want to get exposure to. And last but not least, because it's nice to go on the Osmosis website and see all of these high percentages, but there's something that is called impermanent loss. So please keep impermanent loss in mind. But what is impermanent loss anyway?
Why don't you explain this to me like I am an 8-year-old?
Let's say you provide liquidity for Osmo and Atom. Let's assume you put 4 Osmo and 1 Atom into the pool. Currently, this is around $40 each. Now let us assume that Osmo goes up in price significantly and Atom dumps. As the price of these volatile assets changes, your holdings inside the pool also changes. That means you could end up with significantly less Osmo and more Atom in the pool compared to when you deposited at first. This difference represents an impermanent loss, and it becomes a permanent loss when removing your liquidity. So keep the risk of impermanent loss in mind. In a nutshell, before providing liquidity on Osmosis, there are a few things that you should keep in mind. You should ask yourself to which asset you want to get exposure to, and as always in DeFi, be aware of impermanent loss. Now let us talk about strategy. Let's talk about how you can make the most out of your airdrops in a long-term and sustainable way. Well, therefore, we have to be honest for a second, because all these crazy APRs that are in the Cosmos ecosystem today for providing liquidity and for staking, well, they won't stay here forever. The more people join the Cosmos and Osmosis game, well, the lower the rewards will get. It is how it is, but what can you do against it? There is a strategy and I drive it. What I do basically is I try to increase my Atom and Osmo position and just to increase my staking position, because in my view, it's very hard to predict what the Cosmos ecosystem will look like in the next upcoming years, because there's so much going on. How do you want to pick a winner, or how do you want to bet on one horse? It's very, very hard to predict, but so far, Atom becomes, or most likely will become, more valuable due to interchain security. And apparently it looks like this, that Osmosis is becoming basically the centric hub for the whole Cosmos ecosystem, because everybody wants to bring its liquidity to Osmosis and everybody wants to launch on Osmosis and so on and so forth. So these two projects are right now the most important ones in the Cosmos ecosystem. So I decided to basically increase my Atom and Osmo staking position to make most of my money just with conservative staking in the Cosmos ecosystem. So this is the strategy that I'm driving right now. But of course, I also hold other Cosmos assets like, for example, Kava, but still, I think you get my point. I want to increase my Osmo and Atom position long term, because I know, and I guess you guys know it as well, these APRs, they won't be so high in the future. You were eligible for the airdrop, you claimed your airdrop, and you made the best out of it. Now it's time to profit from the juicy life of passive income. What is the best way to do so? In my view, crypto credit cards. Why? Well, it's pretty easy. You just put your staking rewards on an exchange and swap them into a given asset and put these assets on your crypto card, and then you can buy things in real life. And you can also go to the ATM and get some cash if you are a little bit old-fashioned. But yes, and I can highly recommend the Binance card. I'm using the Binance card every day, actually. I can get cash at most ATMs and I can purchase things in most supermarkets. So I'm very happy about the Binance card, but of course there are also other companies that offer this. For example, crypto.com, Monolith, or Bluetooth, also some well-known crypto credit card companies, if you want to say it like this. So please make sure to get yourself a crypto card, and it looks very fancy. Okay, now, huge disclaimer. It's very important to keep one thing in mind when cashing out your crypto gains and spending them in real life. Taxes, of course. Sorry guys, there is no way around them. I mean, taxes are omnipresent, and before considering cashing out these nice crypto gains and spending them on a new MacBook or on a journey, please make sure to ask your tax advisor if this is in order. And what I do basically, I always have a finished transaction history, like everything that the tax advisor needs. So please be an adult and be aware of these taxes. All in all, is it possible to build a passive income just with airdrops in 2022? Yes, definitely if you are in the Cosmos ecosystem. However, there are a few things that you should keep in mind. For example, keep your portfolio tighter and stake your assets, provide liquidity with them. And also, more importantly, consider things like impermanent loss. That's very, very important before aping into some juicy gems. And before doing everything in real life with your crypto gains, tax advisor. Thank you guys for watching this entire thing. Please make sure, as always, to subscribe to this YouTube channel and give us a like. This triggers the YouTube algorithm, and of course, this will make Atom and Osmo pump. But before wrapping this up, please also make sure to check out our podcast website and listen to some episodes where, for example, Paolo Adoni from Bitfinex or VC legend Adam Draper. It's always very interesting to know their views on macroeconomics and the broader crypto game. And why not join the discussion on Discord? It's always nice to connect to other people in the space. And with that being said, I see you next week.